Hi and welcome to Gnomeworks Art. So I just been doing an artist thing for many years, but I had an accident a few years ago and it impacted what I could do and what I couldn't do. So what I'm going to do today is I've been playing with a new style of art, and I wanted to show people that even those of us who've done it for a long time, when we start a new technique, it don't always work out. You don't always end up with this amazing, look at my best picture ever. And I've never done this particular technique before. I'm going to give it a go and we're all going to see what the hell we turn up with. It could be a mess. It could turn out okay. It could achieve an effect I really want. We shall see. To start with, I just wanted to show you the paints that I'm using today. Most of them are Liquitex. There are two Lumiere, which are pearlescent, and I'll show you what I'm doing with those. So first up, I have pre-mixed my paints. They are the colours. They are mixed with 1/3 paint, 2/3 pouring medium. Depending on the paint, I've added a tiny bit of water to some of them and nothing at all to the others. So we're going to start with a base. Now, this is just a Lazy Susan. It's not a real turntable, so I can't do spins on it, but it works when I want to turn my work around and not walk all the way around my table. So let's see how we go with this. So this is just my base fluid layer. And we're just doing this. Let's add a little bit more to that. And it's up on stands because obviously this is going to go over the edge a little bit. And this is just a cheap little canvas board because I'm just playing. And playing is how we work out what works for us and what doesn't work and what annoys me, and techniques that I've decided, nope, don't care how good they are, I ain't going to use them anymore because they're not my thing. And that's really okay. Art should be always about what you enjoy doing, nothing else. Now I do have a few bubbles in that. So I'm just going to get my hairdryer and just hopefully, nope, helps if you turn it on, plug it in and turn it on, might even help better. And we're just going to blow those hopefully out a little bit. There we go. So just a little heat on this, because there is no cell generator in this, but it'll remove any air bubbles when you've moved your paint around. Look at that, magic. So now we've got a base layer, and I'm not really happy. Let's just add a little bit more there. So there are a multitude, and I mean a multitude of techniques with fluid art. This one is called a drag, and it uses paper, wet paper. But first of all, we're just going to put some colours on. Just a little bit here, a little bit down here, a little bit down there. What I'm trying to achieve, if I'm really trying to achieve anything out of this, is something that looks kind of like a bit of sky, as if you were looking through a lens laying through the grass. Hence, we're going to do a little bit of green down the bottom here. Let's add a different shade of green. Now, generally, you probably want your paints to be about the consistency of runny cream. Not watery and not thick. And I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of gold into this bottom bit because, you know, why not? Next step, we've got that. I have some paper towel here and we're just going to wet it with a spray. And up we go. And we'll wet this one as well because I'm going to do this in 2 runs rather than 1. Now, you want your paper towel to be fairly wet, apparently. Now, here we go. Let's see what disaster I can work with this. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to turn it around the other way and do from there and going to bring it all the way up. Oh, not really. Let's see what I can do with that. Oh, that's not quite what I was planning on doing, but hey, it's a different thing. And I've got a massive lot of bubbles. That's probably because so it seems I'm going to get bubbles and dots, but hey, well, let's see whether it works with it. Now what I'm going to try and do is make some flowers or something remotely like flowers and see how we go with this. Now, this I'm not going to do a drag thing with. What I am going to do is use a ballpoint, which is this. And that means I can drag it through the dots and hopefully create something that looks like a flower-ish, maybe, if that works. If it doesn't work, then we'll work it out and we'll see. Oh, they're bigger. Ha ha. Now I'm going to put a tiny, tiny, tiny drop. That's interesting. If you come in closer, you can see how the dots have spread out around almost like alcohol painting, but not. I'm not doing alcohol painting. There is no alcohol painting in this. And just put a tiny, tiny bit of white, maybe. Nope. Apparently not so tiny. And this is pearlescent white, so we're going to see what this does. Okay, now let's see. And we just drag that through, and we drag that through. And that actually kind of worked the way I wanted it to. Sometimes you're not completely useless. Look at that. Yeah. So yeah, that bit worked. This bit, not quite so much what I wanted. But hey, this is easy to fix. If it's not what you wanted, and like I said, this is a cheap board, I'm going to go, not what I wanted. I can wipe all this off over my plastic cover, and I'm going to get another piece of paper. and I will take that out with a damp cloth later before I clean up and wipe that completely clean, and that gives me another practice board for later. So I hope that seeing that trying things and playing with things will show you what you can and cannot do. And if you don't play, you never learn. And if you never learn, you can't do. So let's just do and enjoy. You can follow me on Gnomeworks Art on Facebook or Gnomeworks_art on Instagram. Ciao.